how can you differentiate, yourself from others? Because in this time we are in the era, everybody is doing BTech. When you are seeing here and there, like you easily find BTech person, but how can you differentiate yourself? Obviously he got you know placed in Infosys, he got placed in SCL, but when you send your CV to different companies, how can you show different from other people? So it is one of them. Like when you write research paper, research articles, you can write it in your CV, resume, and you can show difference. And it also involves a lot of learning. So you will know about something, a lot of practicality, identify better solutions. So it adds up a lot of learning, and obviously you did some research. That means you know a subject very well. That means when you go for interview, when you are going for any higher study, definitely it shows you know about that subject. That means it signifies your knowledge. So where we use this research paper, what is the future scope? Like MS abroad. When you are looking for MS from abroad, definitely it will help you out. It will give you some point. Like MIT, IBM Watson AI lab is there. So you can easily, get the chance to do work with them. Facebook AI Research Lab. If you are a, you are a BTech, after 2 years, you will be a BTech holder, or 3 years, you will be BTech holder. But where will you go? Obviously, no company will allow to you directly, put in the research section. They will recruit you as a trainee engineer. But it is your wish, it is your chance. Like if you have done some research work in your BTech time, that definitely you can directly jump to their research lab. So you, whether you, if you are interested for going for MBA, so definitely when you are going for MBA interview, they will ask in which specialization you have done your BTech degree, and when you will show you have done some research paper, definitely they will ask. The whole interview will be centric on your research paper, so that you can say you have a chance to shift the interview in your direction. You will get chance in Google research, you will get chance in defense research and development organization. Okay, maybe you have heard about that, DRDO. You will get chance artificial intelligence at Apple, at Amazon, or Samsung. Even number of companies I haven't mentioned here. Number of chances. If you are looking for higher study, if you are looking for research lab, if you are looking for MBA, MS, or any research lab, then you can easily go with the research paper. It will show your capacity. So now we have to understand what is research paper and how to write research paper. So these are the modules we have to cover in this workshop, like identification of research topic and abstract. First, identify which topic we have to identify, like which topic will be useful for us, which topic will be, we can do research. Then you can write an abstract. Then you have to go for conduct the literature review and identify your research problem. Then research methodology for proposed research work. Then first draft of research paper. Then outcome of the proposed research, conclusion, feature scope, references, and after that I have put it examples like classification based, regression based, app based research topics, latest research topic basically. So I will show you that slide also, and as well as I will show you three research papers. One is conference paper, one is journal paper, and another is app based paper. So you can understand how to, when you are going for writing a project, so then how to convert into the research paper. So first is identification of research topic. So as we know that research, like when you are going for identification of a topic, it is the most difficult task. It's not easy. Like where should we go? In each and every field, when you will try to search it out, you can see a number of works is already done by the researchers. So it involves a lot of reading, understanding, thinking, and your research topic needs to be focused and narrow. It's like broad enough to get information, but work on a specific factor. It's not like that we will work for whole society. Obviously it's a broad topic. Then you have to choose the area, like in which area you are looking for. Suppose you are looking for health sector, so that time you have to go again narrow down. Okay, this is the health sector. Now I have to choose where should I, which age group, I will focus. Suppose children, then children, what are the disease, what are the health problem with the student, with the children? Then you can go with the conventional health problem, or with the, you can say, uh, occasional problem, or the regular problem, or the weather problem. Many things can arise. Suppose you are going for special kids, special education. So that time you are looking for ASD, autistic student. You are looking for learning disability. You are looking for, uh, you can say, CP. You can looking for downstream. There are number of, filled in dyslexia student. Okay, so there are number of special kids. So where you will go? So you have to focus like that. So review your course material in your BTech program for identification of research topic. Like whatever you have read till now, then it will help you out how to go with the research topic. As of now, we are in second year or third year. So that time you can easily, review the course material, like what are the things I have already read, then I can go with this topic. Think about your interest and expertise in the concerned subject. Like if you are interested in, like suppose in class 12th you are interested in bio, but in this time you are in, engineering. So definitely you can go with the biomedical topic, you can go with the bioinstrumentation topic, you can go with the biosensor topic, you can go with the health sector basically. You get my point? Suppose you have an interest in economics in class 10th. Now you did, you are doing engineering, so definitely you can go with many economics based topic. Or whether you are interested in reading the novel, so that means suppose you are interested in fictional characters or non-fictional characters, that means you can go with a psychological based topic. So it's up to your interest as well as your expertise, how much knowledge you have. Then read background information on your favorites. Like if you have some background information, then you can easily go for your favorite one. Yes, I can choose this research topic. Otherwise you can search those person who are in the dilemma condition, whether we are looking for which research topic. They can search for hot issues in your research field of study. So you can ask your family, friends, academicians, industry person for their input, regarding what is the problem going on. You can ask to your family, you can ask to your mom, what is the problem in the real life you are facing. If something, it will be, within your hand, so you will be happy. Something will come like that, so you will be happy. So that means they have some imagination. So obviously you can looking for that problem. You can ask to your friends, you can ask for some academician, you can ask for the industry person. So it should impact to the society, growth of new industry product, enhancement of existing application development, when you are, identifying the research topic. So according to me, I should say you have to target children based research topic, environment based, technology based, smart thing based, healthcare based, linguistic based. Because some in this time we are in India, so we know in India there are number of languages. And when you are going to Google Scholar, when you are following Google translation, so that time you can see very few languages like Punjabi, Bangla, Telugu, Tamil, or you can say Kannada, like Malayalam, Gujarati, very few language. But still you are going for SMEs, you will not find any translation. You can go with different website. Or there's some other languages, like I have faced, you know, like many problems in Arunachal Pradesh. So I understand there are, various language in Arunachal Pradesh. Like one is Nishi language, one is Galo language. So you haven't heard about that language. So they also, get the chance to deal with the other, other people. But how to deal? Obviously, they want to use their natural language. So there is a chance for, to research or to work on that, that language, easily convert the things. Or target agriculture, backend implementation, robotics, adult based, old age people based problem, society based, or many more. Wherever, it's up to you. Where your eyes is open and you are seeing here it is an object, then you can easily identify the problem. Okay, so you have to think like that. Yes, I'm looking for the problem. So around you, what are the problems? Then you can go for solution using machine learning. So the flow chart for research paper is like that. That means first you have to go the title, then abstract, then introduction, then methods, results, tables and figures, then discussion and conclusion, and acknowledgement and references. So when we are going for title and abstract, so it should be accurate, attractive, concise, clear, specific, informative. So you have to be keep in mind while you are looking for title, it should be attractive. When you're writing the abstract, it should be concise and clear and specific. Introduction is like what is known and what is not known, and what are the research questions. You have to be introduced those things. Methods is like you have to study the design, what are the subject, how to collect the data, how to analyze the data, or you can say what are the things you can implement to achieve the outcome. And the results are obviously these are in the form of tables and figures, or you can say it is a findings, or you can say whatever models you have run. So in the form of some graphs, in the form of some tables, you can easily explain the things. As well as you have to validate statistically. Yes, it is accurate, and you have to compare with other technology. Suppose you are developing, you are enhancing like diabetes prediction. So that time you have to compare with the previous model that is already existed model in the research. Then you can show yes, our model is best. Then discussion and conclusion is like whatever you have done in the whole research paper, then you conclude it with your findings, with your results, with your methods, and what are the novelty in your work. Then acknowledgement and reference is like whatever data you have collected, whatever reference you have taken from here and there, then you have to mention. So it's a complete flow chart. So number one part is abstract. So title, obviously you can decide, depends on your problem, but we have to understand what is abstract. So basically abstract is a short statement about your paper designed to give a reader to complete, usually given a paragraph. Like, you have to write one paragraph, like 6 7 sentence or 150 to 50 words long. And then, you can say it's a mini version of your paper. When someone read your abstract, then he or she can understand what you have done in your paper. So abstract let readers get the gist of essence of your paper, or you can say article quickly. Rather than going to reading the whole paper, it can read the abstract and easily understand and to decide whether I have to go for this whole paper or not. You get my point? And then abstract prepares readers to follow the detailed information like analysis, argument in full pure paper. Like it will details, it will write it in the mini version in this way. And later, abstract helps readers remember key points from your paper. So we have to put keywords also here. Like you have seen in many research paper, one keywords is written. So keywords is basically used for easy searching your research paper after publish online. When you publish your paper online, that time your paper will easily searched by the people easily. So that time keywords we put that keywords. So the second part is abstract. Second part is literature review. So literature review is like we can say introduction part. So literature review is a summary of the published work in a field of study. Suppose you are looking for heart disease. So that time you have to search how many research paper is already published, what are the recent work is going on in this field, and what are the researchers have done already in this heart disease prediction. So that time you have to write a summary for that published work in a field of study, or it can be a section of large number of papers or articles, or can be a focus of the entire paper. Okay, then narrow your topic and select research paper accordingly. Like you already decide your research topic, then according to the literature review you can narrow down your topic and you can understand, okay, like then when you are saying heart disease prediction, that time you read it many papers, then you understand, oh, these are the problems in the heart disease. So that time you can go for one problem, one specific problem. So it will be like you can narrow down your topic, and that time you can select research paper accordingly. So make proper documentation for this research and organize the selected paper by looking for patterns and by developing subtopics. So you should not write like, suppose you have read one paper in 2000, like that is published in 2021, one paper you read in that is published in 1999. So you have to be made a hierarchy, like in 1999 what the researchers have done, then after 1999 2000 what researchers have done, like that, then 2000, then 2005, then 2009, then 2010, 12, 14, 18, 20, 21. So these are the sequence, like you have to write in this way. So read the selected articles thoroughly and evaluate these research articles one by one. Okay, and identify your specific research problem in the literature, and also identify your proposed research related articles, which will help you out in the future for your proposed research area. So what are the sources for literature review? Internet. Easily you can write it your topic on internet, easily you can get, or some reference material, or some books, or basically some evidence based articles, empirical based articles, magazines, or some peer reviewed journals. So in BU, in Bennett University, you have a this facility. You can go to the library easily, like in a hard copy and as well as in the soft copy. You can easily find many journals. So you can easily find the papers or conference proceedings. Then in your BU, as well as some of the PhD scholar already done PhD in computer science department. So you can easily get the access of their thesis or their project report, like all the BTech students who have done BTech from BU. So you can access those project report. So you can get the idea. Okay, we can further proceed that particular research or that particular topic. So website for famous research paper portals, when you can go either Google Scholar or in IEEE Explore. Okay, so you can easily find many research papers over this. Then the third is identify your research problem. So here the first is identify your research topic. You identify the topic, then you write it, the abstract, then you have to identify your research problem because you already followed the introduction part. Then research problem is the main, you can say, the heart of study. So it should be clear, definite statement, concise, or you can say it should be a like current investigation. What will you do in your research? What will you do in your project? So it drives the research questions and processes and provides a framework and for understanding the research findings. So you have to
Excuse,
evaluate. Yes.
yes, sorry to interrupt. Guys, the attendance form is out. You just have to fill it. And yeah, thanks.
Okay, Aslam. So you have to evaluate your research problem for success. So first, identifying a research problem which can be simple as observing the complications and issues in your local workplace. That's why I'm saying you have to see around you what are the problems in going on. Like you just see, okay, some garbage is there nearby your society. So what will be the solution? Or you see like some dogs are barking. You see like some thieves are coming. Like you read newspaper. So you easily identify the problems. What are the problems going on in the society? So how can you go with that solution? So you may encounter ongoing issues on daily basis on your workplace. Okay, or observe your colleagues struggle with your major issues, questions in your research areas. Like that time you can identify your research problem. So these ongoing hurdles and issues in the workplace can be catalyst for developing a research problem, we can say. Or you can review recent literature, like when you are going for Google Scholar, so you can go to like 2021 papers. Then you can identify, okay, what are the problems are going on, what are the recent literature, what are the reports, what are the database, like in this time what is going on in this country, what is going on in this country, like that. So you can find like the recommendation for future studies. So they have a a special section for future scope. So you can go for that. Okay, either going to thesis, either going to previous BTech student reports. So easily you can access those thesis reports or the project reports, and you can go for recommendation for future studies. Then you can understand, okay, this is a problem. So once you find your potential research problem, you will need to evaluate the problem and ensure that it is appropriate for research. So we can say, obviously, the research problem should be, it should be considered significant, timely, novel, specific, and reachable. It should not be like you choose something and your feasibility study is zero. You are not feasible to do complete that research problem. So I suggest to all of you, while identifying your research problem, you have to understand your capacity, your capability, as well as your feasibility, whether you will do or not. So stronger research problems are more likely to succeed in publication and application. So obviously, when you will choose some stronger research problem, so it will be published in some journals or some high reputed journals. The fourth part is research methodology, or it is your mechanism how to solve that problem. So that is research methodology for the proposed research work. So obviously, research is always directed towards the solution of education problem. So it demands like accurate observation and description. It is not merely a collection of data only. Like you just collect the data and you just said that, okay, these are the summary or we depict these things. But I'm suggesting to you, you have to go for some solution. So it requires a collection of first and you can say information or data, then from the primary source, then you can analyze by existing data for new findings. Suppose in machine learning, we know that we have a concept for training and testing. So first you have to go for training data, then you have to go for testing data. So obviously you have to collect the data in this way as a public available data, as a training data, then you can go for, you can say, data acquisition, then you can test your data, then you can easily identify your model is perfect or not. So explain your methodological approach, how to do it. So begin with like introduction, introducing your overall approach to the research. So under this, you can say describe your method for data collection, like how to collect your data. Describe your methods for analysis, like how to analyze the data pre-processing. Then after that, like missing value handling, or you can say which row is affected to the output or not, or evaluate and justify your methodological choice. So we can say like data can be grouped into four main type, on method of collection. Number one, observational data. So when you are going for data collection, that time you have to think in this way, like four types of methods for collection: observational, experimental, simulation, and derived data. So these four type of you can say method, or four type of method, we can say collection, data collection, it will be help you out while you are developing some research methodology. So you have to follow the proper research methodology. Like you can see, before that, some researchers, what are their research methodology, how they proceed to identify, how they have done some work to follow which steps. So you can follow that step also. So the first, now you are ready for first draft of research paper. So obviously, first draft will not be appropriate. We know that it will not be perfect. You have to polish it again and again. Then paying attention to the paragraph and sentences, so which will help when you come to the second draft. So remember one thing, while you are writing research paper, so I, we, you, they, like these words are not used. Okay, suppose something like one researchers have done something, so you have to write this technique is done by in this way, by using this, like indirect way, or you have to use like indirect, you can say pronoun, like don't use he, she, they, I, we, don't use in the research paper. Okay, and don't write too much paragraph like in a continuous way. Like when you write in a APA American style, so obviously you have to write like 6 line or 7 lines in one way, then you write the another paragraph. So expressing your ideas as clearly as possible, and you know what you are trying to say. Then you come back to the text. You do not need to start by writing the introduction. Simply writing the introduction first. Don't write it. First read the literature. Then you understand how the other students have written the research paper. Then you understand, okay, this is the way. So begin where it feels more natural for you. Like suppose someone is interested in, like suppose I can write sometime research methodology because I can easily drive the things. Then I can go for introduction. Then I can go for related work. Then I can go for abstract. Then I can go for conclusion. It's up to you. Okay. So how to start? It's totally depends on the researcher basically. So if you create an outline, use it as a map, like which while you work on this assignment. So you have to make one deadline type of chart. Okay, on this date I will do this. On this date I will do this. On this date I will do this. So it will be give you a better aspect how to proceed to one, like ground to sky. So write the introduction, obviously, then experimental setup and measurement. This is very important. When you are going for experimental setup and measurement, obviously you have to write which type of software you are using, what is the configuration of your system, what is the hardware, what are the hardware you are using, or what are the RAM, what is the configuration for RAM, which type of variable you are taking, what are the things you are considering while doing the experiment. So these things you have to be clearly mentioned in your research paper. The result and discussion, obviously you have to write in this way, like what are the parameters, what are the performance parameter on which basis you are writing the research paper. Suppose you are developing, you are making one project for prediction, so obviously you have to test your model on the regression performance evaluation metric, as we know that MAE, MSC, RMSC, R square, like that. If you are developing some classification based project, so obviously you have to look for accuracy, ROC curve, average precision curve, Matthew correlation coefficient, geometric mean, F1 score, precision recall graph. There are a number of things in classification. So similarly for clustering, similarly for you can say dimensional tree reduction. And write the conclusion, acknowledgement, and references to the revision process. Revision process for second draft, we can say. First time you have to write like in this way, then you have to go for revision for second draft. Then you check whatever you have decided, it is written in that paper or not, or it is is explained very gentle way or very natural way. So outcome of the proposed research work, obviously we know that like the outcome are the results that student expect to achieve after the completion of this research work. So it could be quantitative, it could be qualitative, or we can say it can be both. So at the end of your research work, you have to explain the outcome of your research paper, proposed work study, and more it will be more explained by Dr. Deepika Pantola in day 2 session 2. So I'm not focusing on this outcome. I just write it for understand the formal way. Then conclusion, feature scope, and references. So obviously you have to write conclusion when you write abstract. So we know that it's a mini version of the paper. So in conclusion, what will you write? Obviously you have to write, include your outcomes, include your results. What are the models you have used? From which model you compared, and what were your objective and how you achieved. So these things you have to wrap up your ideas and leave the readers with a strong final impression. Then several key goals like restate the research problem addressed in the paper and summarize your overall argument of findings. Okay, so I suggest future studies you have to include it because it will help you help the others, like those who will follow your paper. So obviously you have to write it. These are our limitations, and other can do or other can work on these problems, like that. And more will be references will be explained by Dr. Adhuri Gupta, day 2 session 2. So now we understand how to write the research paper. What are the things? Now we see the examples. So these are the hot topics, like the recent topics I have mentioned here. If someone are interested to do some work with prediction based problem using machine learning, deep learning, so they can choose any of the topic, like rapid soil fertility prediction using X-ray fluorescence data. So it's very recently published paper. Then software maintainability prediction, intelligent Parkinson disease prediction, movie success prediction, and their comparison, you can say. Or you can say to predict people's intention to use mobile learning platform during COVID-19 pandemic. You can understand these things. Like with the help of machine learning, they want to predict people's intention to use mobile learning platform. Or state of charge estimation of lithium ion battery or electric vehicles using machine learning. So these things, like these are the hot topics, we can say. So like for predicting the adoption of smartwatches, so using machine learning here. These are the prediction based problem. Classification problem, I also mentioned some classification based problem, like poverty classification. Okay, like someone have done the work with the case of Jordan. You can do this thing with your locality, some local area. You can easily visit and do the survey and collect the data, and then you can do the classification. What are the features they have? Then you can easily do the things. Poverty classification. Then you can say star galaxy classification or efficient English text classification using selected machine learning technique. Or you can say deep learning based supervised image classification using UAV image for forest area classification. So those who have access to easily visit to the forest, definitely you can get some UAV images. Or like those who are some of the students coming from Andhra, so they have a easily access to the port area. So if you have a access to the port area, so many sea type of activity you can predict, like number of ports, number of ships, number of people, like number of things, soil sediment, many things. Product review sentiment analysis, ensemble based classification using neural network, or Windows malware detection, automatic classification of lung sound. It's a different lung sound. So these things are very very hot topic. We recently researchers have published the paper. Then some researchers have developed the app, and they have done the project using machine learning and deep learning. So like we can say to detect COVID-19 face mask. So there is a app for they have developed an app and they write it one paper. Similarly, mind your weight, a large scale study for insufficient machine learning model protection in mobile apps. They have developed one app. One app is like DLAD, like it's a deep learning based Android malware detection using dynamic feature. One app is developed for intelligent transport system using machine learning. One app is OT Flow, like fast and accurate. It's a recent app. I'm not talking about the oldest one. So you can understand, like last 2 years, 3 years, they have developed this app and they published the research paper in very good reputed journal. Autism AI, like new autism screening based system, whether predicting whether a couple is going to be get divorced or not. Okay, so like these app is developed by a researcher, not a organization. So I suggest to you, like you can do the work for these things also. Okay, so now I'm showing you the research papers. Like number one, this is the, you can say it's a conference paper. You have to understand there are three things. One is conference paper, another is journal paper. So conference paper is generally length of 8 to 12. Here I'm showing the 8 length paper. So how to write it in in the IEEE format? So it's a double column when we are going for IEEE format. When we are going for other publication like Springer, Elsevier, so that time it will be different. So here I have mentioned first we have to write for like title. So here I have developed one new classifier. Support vector machine is the oldest classifier. Then someone have done work on twin bounded. Then I have solved twin bounded support vector machine using least square approach. Then I have included here some fuzzy value. Then fuzzy value is calculated on the basis of kernel target alignment. So that time you can say we have developed one new classifier named as KTA FLSTBSB. So here you can see the abstract. The abstract is like that only, like we can say 150 200 words only, or you can say 8 10 line only. So here, simply whatever we have done, we just write it here. Then keywords, then easily find for that keywords. Then we are looking for introduction. So I already said to you, introduction is a summary of all the literature, what they have done. Like we start with, nowadays everything is moving towards artificial intelligence. Then you can see what is support vector machine, who have developed support vector machine. Then what are the problems? Then we can say what are the drawbacks here in the support vector machine. Then who have done something? Suppose Sukan and Vendeval something have done least square support vector machine. Then after that we can say fuzzy support vector machine have been developed. Then least square support vector machine, weighted least square support vector machine we can say. Then similarly we have to go like that, make a hierarchy. Then we can say here new version for support vector machine fuzzy. Then twin support vector machine comes into the research field. Then after that least square twin support vector machine. Then twin bounded support vector machine. Then someone have done least square recursive project twin bounded support vector machine, like that. So here, like from this to this, we have done the literature. Then after that, what you are proposing, like what you understand from this introduction, then you write it. Yes, we are proposing KTA, FLST, VSVM. And what will you do in this method? Then this is other related work, like where you will compare, because you have to run your data set, we have to run your model. So we just write it, the basic notations. Then we just, it's up to your choice. Like if you want to write the formulation or not, it's your choice. So I have written like the formulation for twin support vector machine. Then I have written for formulation for least square twin support vector machine. Then fuzzy least square twin support vector machine. And then twin boundary support. I have compared these four methods with these four methods. That's why I have written the formulation, the related work. Then it's my proposed method, or you can say research methodology. Okay, so I have just write it the formulation because I have shown the mathematical interpretation. It's your choice if you want to show the theoretical interpretation, or that's you can say the drive interpretation, or in which way you want to show your paper, your project, your proposed work. It's your choice. So then we have done this thing. The next part is experiment or result section. So here first we have written which type of data set we are using. Like we are using an artificial data set replay, and as well as 22 benchmark real world data set from UCI repository, and we are comparing our proposed approach with these four methods. Okay, then what are the parameters we have considered? An experimental setup, like we have used MATLAB software, we have used 8 GB RAM, 1 GB hard disk, and all these things. Then we just show the graph, like this is the classifier with the TSVM, TBSVM, LSTSVM, and all the, you can say, compared approach. Then these are the results in the tabular form. We just show the accuracy. Yes, here we got the 91.9 accuracy with these parameters, and this is the time. You can see it's very minimum time in comparison to others computation time. Then we take the real world data set and compare it with all the algorithms. Then we get the accuracy. Then we can easily validate the things. Yes, so we can see it's a average ranking. Like we can say in this case, our approach and this approach have similar accuracy. Here our approach get second rank because here it gets maximum accuracy, like that. So we go for the average rank. So what we get? We get average rank is best. Then we can write the conclusion. Yes, this is the conclusion, and we write the references. So it is a conference paper. It's not too much work. You can write it. It's your choice how to write it. Only 8 page paper. Then the second is journal paper. So journal paper generally considered more than 20 pages. So here you can write, you can see efficient prediction for cardiovascular disease using machine learning algorithm with relief and lasso feature selection technique. So here the Pranav Ghosh is a BTech student. Okay, so you have to understand this thing. So he write like abstract, then abstract whatever methods he compared, he write it, his aim, then index term or keywords, whatever we can write. Then similarly, introduction, you can see different number format. He have used like whatever person have done the work. Then what he extract from this introduction, then he write it, and the flow of the paper. Then what are the research aim and scope of the paper? So you can write in the other heading. In the conference paper, we have limited pages, so that's why we have put it in the introduction part. Here you can write it in the other heading. What is the aim and scope of your paper, your project basically. The literature review, you can do this thing. Then performance measure, which performance measure you will use. Like I have already, uh, told you, like accuracy, precision, recall with the classification paper, or FPR, FNR, NPV, like that. Then this is a research methodology, like which flow they are using, like they are using for data aggregation, like that. Then data pre-processing, then how they will do it. Then you can see like working diagram for the proposed model. Okay, then what are the application for the proposed model? So they just write it the application because they are developing also one of the application. So here you can see the suitable application model for proposed model. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, so it's a model for proposed, you can say app. Then justification for proposed technique. Then here you can see like on various features, like highly correlated features of relief approach, they have shown this diagram. Then implementation, like result section, we can say different machine learning libraries, what they are using. Then what is the data set they have used, and actual data points. Then here you can see the data set descriptions. Then which feature selection technique they have used. They use a standardization. Then you can see like working technique for ensemble approach, because ensembling approach they have used, they just combine the things. Bagging method they used, and you can say lasso method they used here. So it is the algorithm or pseudocode, like how they used, they just write it in this form. Okay, then different proposed different previous model, like decision tree. Like previously you have shown, you have already see, like I have written the mathematical explanation, they have written the in the theory explanation. It's your choice how to write it. Then random forest, simply. Then k nearest neighbor, ADA boost, grading boosting. So these are the like different models they combined and compare. So here like precision based graph, recall based graph, you can see here easily. They just write it in this form, like all the performance measure based, like NPV based, false negative based, like that. Okay, so this is a comparison table, or you can say existing table, like our work, like what is their work and other works. Okay, so now you can see what is the accuracy for decision tree, random forest, KNN, boosting, like that. Then you compare simply on different parameters. Then statistical analysis they have done on the basis of RMSC. This is the table for they calculate the RMSC and all. Then here computational complexity of their model, runtime. Then you can see, because it's a journal paper basically, they have included each and everything. Then limitations, then conclusion. So in BTech, I should recommend, like rather going to the journal paper, you have to go with the conference paper. Then you understand the things. So it is like that. It's a BSc student here, you can see. Okay, like this one also. So these two are like example for conference journal. This is the app-based paper. I already said to you, it's a AI-based Android application for automated crowd control monitoring in bus transport service. Okay, like they have developed one app for crowd management, like how much crowd is in the bus before reaching to the bus stop. Then easily travelers can understand, okay, whether we go to that bus or not. So that they developed this application. It's a Springer paper, it's not IEEE paper. So they write it abstract, then keywords, then these are the contents. Simply they write the introduction, then literature review, what I said. Then we can say it is a proposed system, how the bus is going on. Then we can moderate like that. Then this is a flow diagram. Then methodology, research methodology, we can say database, and they develop like this model. Then GPS module, how it works. Then crowd density prediction. Then flow chart. This is the implementation, and they develop one app. So obviously they have to show the result analysis. So under the like 20 kilometer, 10 kilometer, 5 kilometer, depends on their project description. Then they develop the app, and it will be helpful. Like they are also writing the research paper in this way. They can't or moderate density, low density, like that. And you can get the conductor number, latitude, phone number, status, all these things. Then analysis, then they have done a conclusion. They have used a CNN based model here. Okay, because you can see they have used like CNN based machine learning model here to develop this model.